Okay. Wow. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Charlie's Angel Stream. How's everyone doing this morning? Hey, Colin. Hey, Bill Brothers. PXN America. Hey, Phil. Hey, Happy Camper. Hey, John. Who else? We got Little Brad and Danny and Jokernut. Hey, Honored Twig. Hey, Rushmere. Malfrey and Thomas. Did I say hi, Phil? Hi, Phil. Hi, Arthur. Hi, Shadell. How is everyone doing? Hey, Ram Online, and Kenneth and Buddha. Go ahead and peek to YouTube. Hey, Chris. Welcome. And Christian. Christian from Copenhagen. And you're going to see me scroll in chat. Just the way this works, you're going to end up seeing me scroll in chat. And I need to because it's zoomed in. I don't see a lot. So it's going to be a lot easier for me to miss out on chat today. So sorry about that. Hey, Rick. Hey, Scott. Hey, Mark. Hey, Jorg. Hey, BA. Ooh, I'm going to have to just leave that, leave that scrolled. Justin and Mr. V8 Rick and Jeff. Hey, Scott. Hey, Shadell. We are doing well. Charlie is doing well. He's getting his pets on. Hey, Mr. Jada D. Hey, Fusion Lit. Hey, Troy. Hey, Breckle and It's Mike. Good morning. Or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. So today's Charlie's Angel stream kind of came to me after talking about it last week because I was planning on doing the Rocky Mountain Rep Festival Drag Racer by our own Scott from Edge 3D. And honestly, I didn't have enough time to properly prep for that. But I was trying to print stuff for the Micron on the Tridex, and it has a problem. Toolhead 1 is 6, so we're gonna figure out why. I have no idea. I know it's not working. I didn't do any troubleshooting, so I'm going into this cold. So we'll see how that works out for me. Hey, John. Hey, Arthur. Hey, Wind Farms. Hey, Paul. Jeff. I got Micron Stepper Kit in mail. Awesome. That's good to hear. Thank you for that update. Hey, Derek. So before we get into that, there's a few things. I've got fun stuff that has cramped my prep time. Here, let's go there. That is a hole in my ceiling where a mini split is going to go. There is a mini split unit in the other garage. Finally, Windows hides the screen. Here, you're not. Okay. So yeah, they are going to come out and finish it. They had trouble yesterday. They were here from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Doing the installs and weren't able to finish it. So that's okay. They're going to come out on Monday and finish off this garage. The other one, the unit in the other, and I've got my phone in my pocket. So I'll show you a picture, and I know I'm going to be pointing a camera at a screen, but that's almost 3 feet square is that ceiling cassette unit in the other garage. It's ginormous. But, let's put my phone over here. Oh, Windows 10, hide your screens. Just watching some of your Tridex videos again because I'm building my own IDEX machine. Awesome. Modorama. So, let's see. Hey, John from Hungary. Comfort is on the way. I cannot wait. It is going to be awesome. So that's getting done. I spent, while they were working all this, I spent yesterday building my new main PC because I moved my main PC over here to streaming duty, and I'm super happy I did that. But what that did is it forced me to use the laptop I was using for streaming for my main PC, and that just wasn't going to cut it. So I built a new PC, and I finished it up yesterday and got stuff loaded last night. So I'm getting close to back to normal. So, hey, James. Hey, Timor. I just tapped my V2.4. Mini splits were the second greatest thing I had installed in the new house, just beyond the tankless water heaters. Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually using them. Awesome, John. Serial request for your ender wire. Very cool. What else is going on? I was working. The other thing I did yesterday is I spent a little bit of time in CAD. I had to order a new case for that computer. So while I was waiting for that, I spent some time in CAD. And this is the the display I want to use for the Micron, and I picked this display. I just found it on Amazon. It's a WaveShare 3.5 HDMI, and I wanted it because I wanted a smaller than 4.3 inch screen. Looks like Charlie wants to go. So I wanted a smaller than 4.3 inch screen, and since I'm using the CB1 with the Manta, I can't use a DSi display. So there's a 2.8 inch DSi display that's pretty cool that Hart K has used. And so I found this one, and it has HDMI. Here, let's pull these off. It has HDMI and then a USB for input on the side. And I found these low profile right angle PCB connectors that you can get on Adafruit. I bought them on Amazon. And they go like this, and then they reach back, but they take a little bit of space. So I needed to make a mount for this. Up at one of my dad's place, they were great, yeah. So I needed to make a mount for this, and I've been kind of putting it off, and finally I sat down and was working on it yesterday. So I came up with a little display cover, and then a couple of brackets to mount the display and mount it to the frame. So these right angle connectors are pretty nice. So I modeled it up. I could not find a CAD model of this, so I took some measurements with my calipers and made a dummy model of it in Fusion 360, and then developed this little cover for it. And I was so close, almost on a first try. Everything fits except for there's some mounts that I put in here to hold the display to these mounts, and those interfere with these right angle connectors. So right before stream, I printed revision 1, and we shall see if it fits real quick before we get into the Tridex stuff. So, hi Bryce. Okay, let's see. I printed it out on 2 different Voron Zeros because that was the quickest way to do it. So I've got some pieces. I even printed it in a final color. So let's pop this off of here. Quick revisions of your own design. Yep. Hey Sven. Hey Dan. And then I've got a couple of pieces here for today. This is a power supply mount I expect to need to use today. I take it you sorted WaveShare. Yes, with some help from some folks. Delmar ended up having the key thing. The clipper screen docks worked, and I thought I had followed those. I must not have followed those to complete. Yeah, it works well enough. So, Bryce, I am going to Murph. I am planning on going to Murph. I booked my flight. I haven't booked my hotel yet. Hey, Queasy Diver. Where? Oh, Charlie's doing his thing. I am planning on going to Murph. We continuing the Prusa unbuild? Prusa unbuild? What Prusa unbuild? Oh, we're gonna work on the Tridex. Okay, so new revision. I changed these screw mounts. These are for M2 self-tappers. This holds the display cover, and then these will hold the thing. So let's see. I think I'm gonna build a V0 or a solid fork so I can fix my 2.4. This is the way, right? You need another printer so you can make sure that you can fix your other printer. I'll pull these little covers off the screw holes. Throw those away. And let's see. This is gonna have to be installed with these connectors on. So this should go in here. It fits. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if everything else lines up. Hey, zombie. And then this one goes here. And those line up. The other problem I had is I mismeasured these mounting studs, and this hole was off on here. So this is gonna go in there like that. So let's do this. Let's grab some fasteners. And I think I'm gonna want these. So these are some little 2.5, M2.5 button heads. Is this what I want here? Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, Golden Jaguar, welcome. And then this is the key, is I have to avoid the ports here in order to mount this one, and it's looking good. It's looking good. Hey, Joseph. Okay, so that mounts the brackets that bolts this to the frame to the display, and then from the back side here, I have some M2 self tappers that go in. Hey, Drifter. Hey, Danny, would I consider a pellet extruder? With the right use case, I don't have any real immediate use case for like the volume or the size of printing or the extrusion that would require that. Okay, those go there, and then two more of these. It hadn't really occurred to me to even think about that, to be honest. Where is Charlie? He is still doing his thing. Okay. This, I am encouraged. I am encouraged. Rev 1, and it fits together. There we go. That'll bolt to the frame there, and that'll sit there, and then the front skirts have to be modified, and I've done that. I haven't printed them yet. I wanted to test this first though, but here, a little better angle here. I am pleased. That is awesome. Goes in there. Now this HDMI cable down here is in a bad spot. I'm gonna have to modify the lower part of the skirts as well, but I am pleased. We may get a display on the Micron after all. Next time, show us how you modeled this. That's the problem. It was all day, and the problem with the way I overthink things, I go through, I sit there and I think about a problem for too long. I have a hard time realizing or thinking how it might translate to a stream, and to doing it in front of people. It makes me nervous to try to even attempt that. Some of the things I've shown on camera, I've kind of gone through and I've done it, but something that is this, trying to explain how to do this from inception to product, it's just, and I guess that's a good lesson. It's not something that I just go in and do. You're right, I could try to just record it and see what happens. That's a good plan. Now that I have my other computer set up and things going, maybe I can always cut out the fluff, right? So, hey Tiger, hey BBs. Looking for a Z-tilt setup and clipper. Still haven't found a way to make it automatic like Marlin does. What do you mean, make it automatic for Z-tilt? Okay, so that was just kind of an aside I wanted to cover. I'm relatively pleased with this. I'm going to print the rest of the front skirt, and hopefully test fit it and be ready for tomorrow's stream. Yeah, 3D printing is so awesome. To have something in your mind and kind of think about how you might do something and then end up with this physical thing in your hand that you made. All right, let's set this over here. Oh, okay, good. Charlie's getting ready to settle down, so I'll put the camera over there in a minute. We need this, and we need the Tridex. Starting with water today. But I still have coffee, I just need hydrate. Okay, let's put this here and here. So if Chris made a good point here, print start. So I don't make Clipper complicated with a print start macro. It is very powerful and you can do some neat things that you can't do in the slicer. But if you're used to coming from Marlin and you have your start G code in Prusa Slicer or Cura or whatever, you can do the same thing in Clipper. Just use the Clipper commands. Put Z_tilt in your G code start in your slicer and it will run that. Recommendation is home, Z tilt, then home again, then do your mesh. So don't get caught up. I feel like a lot of people get caught up in feeling like they need to put a print start macro in their configuration, and you don't. If that's something that's hanging you up, it's not critical. It's not required. There are some things you can do, but me, for instance, I don't run a print start macro on almost any of my machines. Home again after Z tilt, because you're especially depending on where your reference point is, you want your reference point to be reset because your mesh is based off of your reference point, right? So I feel like that's at some level a little bit of the hurdle that folks perceive in going to Clipper is having to do something so much in the configuration, and those macros get complicated and very intimidating to look at when you can use an exact same type of start G code as you do with any other printer. So, okay. Z-tilt. Z-tilt is in Clipper is the name for the function for 2, 3, or 4, whatever. QGL is what we call it for 4, but 2 and 3 stepper Z motion. So if you have 2 on either side, it will adjust. It'll probe each side and adjust side to side tramming. And for like a Trident where you have 3 steppers, it will probe 3 points and Z-tilt adjust. Yeah. But it's not just Tridents. You can do that with 2 steppers too. We do that on gantry leveling. There you go. We do that on Legacy. I do two stepper. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is bring Tridex over here. Holy moly, it is a large printer. So let's see if we can maybe back up a little bit here. And we're gonna demonstrate, see if we can duplicate the problem first. Hey, don't knock it. So let me get power. Where did I put? Aha. Power cord. And let's duplicate the problem. So like I said, I took this as an opportunity to do from the very beginning. The next step after noticing there's a problem, I stopped. So I have no idea what we're going to see here. I did not turn the printer back on. I'm hoping this is a cool thing to do. Do you know if Clipper has released duplication and mirroring mode yet? I haven't seen. Okay, so powering up the printer. The other problem that I've had with this machine is occasionally it'll reset and I hear a chirp from the buzzer on the board, and I think that chirps when the 5-volt line, something goes on the 5-volt line. And I'm powering the Pi off the Mellow Fly Super 8. So as a troubleshooting step, I'm gonna install a power supply for the Pi instead of powering it off the board. So that'll be part of today, but not necessarily a big part of the troubleshooting. Hey, Steven. I just installed TAP and was having problems with my offset. I'm so glad you just mentioned that, as I noticed I accidentally deleted my Z Home after QGL. Most major filament vendors offer up to 5 kilogram rolls. What do we got here? We've got a noisy fan I should replace too. There we go. Okay, so we're powered up. Let's go ahead and open the doors. I'm hoping I don't need to take panels off today. And what I noticed is I was doing a two Toolhead print, an IDEX print, and it purged the second Toolhead, but after that, it wouldn't print. Now, the print I was doing, it just didn't print the second color, and I'm gonna use the parts. It was tiny little, it was the door pieces for Micron, and there's a little Micron logo in there that I was gonna print in yellow. And that's all the yellow that was gonna be. So it was yellow in this Toolhead and black in this one. And it didn't do that, and I wasn't really being very perceptive. And I let the print finish, and at some point I recognized, let me say, before it actually finished, at some point I recognized this hot end fan was not spinning. And I'm like, oh crap, it's heated up and that's not spinning. That's not good. So I went in and changed the temperature on this Toolhead and let the rest of the print finish. And then I turned it off. So that's where we're at. So, picked up a cam today for the 400 because it's in the mail. Awesome. I'm working 7 days a week until further notice. Uh-oh. So I think what I want to do is just heat up the hot end to 50. It's not going to hurt anything, and see at any temperature we turn on, the fan should turn on. So let's just go in here, keyboard. Let's see, how's things going? Is music sounding good? Is everything good? Let me bring this up, and we can pull this up. So this is Tridex, and everything's fine here. Awesome. Okay. I'm really pleased. I'm glad I changed computers. Just the little bit smoother, being able to run Fusion 360, that kind of thing. So everything is fine except for the lack of Charlie. You're absolutely right. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Okay, is that better? So, okay, let's see. I'm just gonna go extruder 0. If I set this to 50, I get fan spinning. I don't know if you can see that, but I get fan spinning. Got that keyboard for my Mac. I'm totally loving it. I love the feel. I like this keyboard. I'm not 100% sold on battery life. So I need to see if it'll last a week. If it'll last a week, then I'm okay, because I can just put it into the rotation of charging my microphone and charge this before every stream. As long as it'll last a week, we're good. But yeah, I am pleased with this keyboard. It's Keychron, what is it, the K1 SE with brown switches. Okay, so that is working. Let's cool down, let that cool down, and then it should turn off. Yep, so it turned off. So now let's heat up Toolhead 1. And the fan is not turning on. So fan is not turning on here. So I'm gonna set this to cool down. Yep. So let's find out why. I did not change any configuration items, so I don't think that a configuration thing is causing this. So we should probably look at the tool head, look at the wiring, make sure things are plugged in right, that kind of thing. I use mine all day and it's around 2 days of battery. That's a little bit of a problem for a keyboard, isn't it? That would be a little disappointing. What do you have it set to? It should just turn right on. So I just set it to 50 and it should turn on. I could also come down to, can we go down to the fans? We can check to see if any fans are working. So here, I want to see if the, you probably can't see that because I'm in the way, but there's some fan controls down here. Oh, here, let's see here. Let's see, hold on. Let me turn me off. Where did I do that? There we are. Okay, so here I want to see if Clipper thinks it's running and it's not. So let's go back to the extruder one and set this to 50. And let's set this one, Toolhead 1 to 50, and it immediately turns on. Or Toolhead 0 turns on, Toolhead 1 does not. So if we come down here, extruder fan, it thinks both of them are at 100%, so it's not a configuration issue. I didn't change any pin outs, so I didn't change any configuration between this working. Let's try part cooling fans and turn those to about 50%. So that's Toolhead 0 and it turns on, and Toolhead 2, it does not. So we have both fans on Toolhead 1, both fans on Toolhead 1 are not working. That's concerning. So let's get a little closer look. So let me turn everything off and shut this down. Sounds like the Toolhead board is misbehaving. Yeah. And cool down. Let's cool everything down. Oh, that's a good question if the hot end is heating up. Yes. I think so. Yeah, it is. It is heating up. Let me double check. Okay, I was gonna double check. Do I have a, there we are. Let's go up to a little more. Something that's not really gonna cause any real problems, but let's go up to like 70. Something I'm definitely gonna feel. Clipper would notice a hot end not heating, yeah. And it is showing the thermistor is reporting heat. Yeah, it is heating up. So let me cool that down. So the CAN board is communicating. Not sure if it's easier to test the connections or swap the boards. We'll see. Let's get in there and look at it and see if there's anything obvious going on. Oh, and I'm scrolled up. Does the extruder motor run? When it did extrude a purge line before I noticed the problem. So I'm not sure now, but hey, Red 5. LEDs are on. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. So maybe it's in the secondary board, the fan board. Let me point it in the fan board on here. So things are cool enough. I'm gonna shut the printer down. Configuration, system, shutdown, host. I'm troubleshooting my Revo HE. Shows solid temps, but extremely difficult to push plastic through. Any thoughts? What thermistor have you, and what is HE? Hevo edition or Hemera edition, I mean? Might be a broken wire. I mean, the whole thing here is I don't know. We're gonna go through everything as if I was not on camera doing it, which means I'm going to forget to check things, and I'm gonna go through the same thing I would do if I wasn't doing this in front of you. So, with the added benefit of having suggestions from you. Okay, so everything's shut down. Let's turn it off. Hot end. Oh, okay. The question, if you're showing temps, but it's not pushing plastic, what do you have defined as your thermistor? Do you have correct? Is it correct? And are you actually hitting the temps that it's showing? Okay, let's pull the fan cover off. So I've powered it off. And I need to check for damage here because I let it sit there cooking for a long time. So I need to check the tool head and everything. Oh, that's a good point, Lars. We can try swapping the fronts. Absolutely. That's a great idea. Now, my plan today is if we figure this out pretty early, the next stage is we're gonna do a multi-material print, an actual multi-material print. We're gonna do ABS and hips. And my goal there is I want to print the spoilers for the Rocky Mountain drag racer with those supports, with zero interface supports, and see how that turns out. So that's the, if this is a quick troubleshooting and done, that's the additional content for today. I will go through everything, excluding the swearing, absolutely. Okay, so as I pull this off, it is coming off the thing. We have got everything spins. Swap the USB to the tool heads and retest. Could. Swapping fronts is, yeah, I like swapping fronts first. What revision is Clipper on? The newer builds play nicer with CAN and multiple tool heads. I haven't updated it since I set up the input shaper fix. Having trouble with the rear wing for the drag racer. We could try updating, but why would it work on one and not the other? So I'm just gonna look at the physical connections, make sure something hasn't come loose. Everything's, make sure I don't have like a fan MOSFET might have failed or something. I don't smell anything. So let's swap these tool heads since I'm not seeing anything physical. Video froze. What? Did the video freeze? Tridex had the same issue. Here, while I have this, Chris, okay. Woo! I'm gonna pull the tool head off and examine it, see if I have any problems. Here, that goes in there. What is this? What do I have here? Oh, that's the end stop switch. Huh. I was wondering what is the extra wire there? It's the end stop. Everything is tight. Let's pull the, it just came back. There's a benefit of IDEX. You can debug fans by swapping tool heads. Every printer should be IDEX, absolutely. So, Revo, let me just grab a piece of filament. I just want to see if it melted up into the heat break. Just gonna see if I can push how far I can push a piece of filament down this. Oh, yeah, well, that's probably fine. It's in the heat zone. Okay, let's put this back in here. That's all fine. I'm gonna go through this and just kind of tighten the screws while I'm here. I think everything's fine with the tool head. It might have gotten warm, but it doesn't seem like it's impacted anything. So let's pull this back up in here and plug it back in. Kind of fun to get to, but managed that okay. That was quickest I've ever done that. Okay, let's swap the fan fronts and see what happens. On mobile, on the tablet, and casting to TV. Casting, yeah. Can't remember which boards are on the Tridex. These are the Mellow SB 2040s. SB 2040. Place your bets. What do you think? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. What do folks think is going to happen? Are we going to? Is it going to work? Is it going to follow the fans, or is it going to stick with the tool head? Take a look here. It's gonna work. Hope just the fan. It would be two fans is the problem. The concern is two fans, so I'm guessing something on the board fried. So everything looks good there. So this is gonna go right back on here. Make sure that's there. That's plugged in. Both start working. Yeah. I'd guess the Winsons. Well, the part cooling fan is not a Winson. The part cooling fan is a Delta, I think. It's covered by the board here, so I can't really tell. It's odd, I would have thought shared ground, but the LEDs are okay. Yeah, and the heater heats up, and the end stop, it's still homed. Does the SB 2040 have the removable? I don't think so. Are you using a heatsink on the processor or TMC? I have it on both. I have it on both. Hey Dan, same thing here. I've got more of those just because they're so easy to get on Amazon. I can get them quick. Let's close that up. Everything's good there. Let's put this one on here. Make sure I get this plugged in. That's good. So yeah, hopefully I don't fry something on both boards by doing this, but now I don't technically have an extra SB 2040, if that's what the problem is. but I could grab one off the other Trident over here. I have one on. I'm hesitant. I have the other Toolhead board I have is that Big Tree Tech, that new one from them, but that would be quite a job to swap that over. Magic smoke and the aftermath is content. Does the board have short protection? I don't know for sure. Yeah, you definitely, Thomas, you definitely have to be careful. Make sure you line those up correctly. Fan voltage to the faceboard, correct polarity. Yeah, all of this worked before and then it stopped working. So we're just kind of trying to narrow down what failed. Okay, let's power it on, see what happens. And let's listen carefully for any electronics failing. Nope. Power on. Hey, Lucas. It's funny, I've never actually put the screw in the side of these covers. I keep forgetting. Can't tell what to do. Nothing. We haven't seen anything yet. No burn smell. Yeah, that's what I was smelling for. So I'm just gonna go into the interface here. So LEDs are on both. Let's try Toolhead. Let's try Toolhead 0 first. Don't know how y'all blowing through fans. I've always used Winston on all my builds and I haven't had one fail either. I haven't. Train Charlie to be a magic smoke detector. Okay, let's go here. Oh, it turns on. The fan turns on. And it does not turn on Toolhead 1. So there's something wrong on Toolhead 1. I can see blue LED on left, but not on right. Oh, on the board itself. Are you talking about on here? It's on. They're both on both. It's just angles. The blue LEDs, there's a top one and a bottom one. It's on both. You accidentally didn't swap the tool heads. Don't tell me that, John. Don't tell me that. See what version of? You guys were talking about Clipper version updates. No. There's an LED. You can see an LED, and you can see an LED. Right there. That's why they should be different colors. Well, yeah, I do agree. Here, let's turn that on. There we go. And let's go to the machine. And invalid because I've got input shaper fix here. But I'm on an 11, 0.11 variant of some sort. I can never tell if John Stern is serious or not. You're right. The pin number is the same for the fans on both tool heads, yes. Pin number and then the tool head designation would be different. Everything could be updated. I'm hesitant to update I don't think it's going to be a firmware version issue. It just doesn't seem like that's what's going to be causing this. I think something on the board has probably failed. So let's pull it apart a little further and see if we can tell anything on the board itself. So we've swapped the fan fronts and the problem stays with the tool head. Did it stop working after an update? No, it just stopped working. That's the problem. I didn't do anything. Printed and then didn't. So. Let's pull this further apart and get a better look at it. It's probably the fan. Now you can swap USB at the rear tool head. That cuts issue from above or below. That's gonna, how hard is that gonna be to do? That's gonna be quite a chore. I would be better off swapping it down at the CAN board. I did try turning it on and off again. Let's pull this thing off. Let's just get a look at it. This won't take long. I checked the 24 pin going from the main PCB to the front. Why? So what? The 24 pin going from the main PCB to the front one. Okay, I see what you're saying. But let's see if there's anything that's obviously burned out or something on here. Multimeter the pins at the tool head board connector first. This won't take long. Yeah. Let's see. Let's do some searching here to get some info. Then, if we want to actually test for, hey Kenny, we want Mellow SB2040. Is there a GitHub on that that's any good? GitHub fly SB2040. Clipper is seeing both CAN boards because it's not barking at you about it. Correct. So let's see what we have here. We could look at the schematic. I want to look more. Let's go to the more information here. I don't think it's a cable as you have power to the heater and the CAN bus is working as it should. I agree there. Let's close this and change this to English. And let's look at the wire. Here we go. This is really what I wanted to see. Ground and 24 volts are at the bottom two pins. Yep. It's the flash on the board. You think it's firmware? A sudden change. Not typical. Did I turn this off? Yeah, it's off. If I pull this off, and yeah, we're gonna check voltages here. So I've pulled the front off. I'm gonna grab some test leads. Let's see. So I don't accidentally, because we're dealing with we are there we go. We're dealing with ground and 24 volts right next to each other. I'm gonna grab some of these just little DuPont test leads and I'm gonna go, what do we have here? This is ground, so I'm gonna plug this in here. So I have something that I can split apart and measure instead of accidentally shorting those out. Let's find out. Let's see if we're getting VCC to that. Check voltage and let's just grab my other clip leads here so I don't have to hold things. And this red here. And orange. So here and here. Now I should be able to turn this on. Let's see what we get. So if I turn that on and I get 2.7 volts. Frying the board is the easy way to figure out why it isn't working. You won't if the NC. So I'm checking between ground and VCC. You shouldn't, I mean, it's just sending those to the, I'm not checking between a signal pin. Ground could be switched, but let's check the other board. Let's compare it to, yeah, we're getting 2.9 volts there. CAN is 2.5 volts. I'm not sure. Let's compare to the result we get over here. Is your power coming from the PSU or the UTC? It's coming from the UTC for both of these, for both tool heads. Yeah, we're gonna compare behavior here just to see, because it should just be, I mean, according to the diagram, it's just ground and VCC. So I should be able to pull these out and plug them in right here. Let me get my glasses on. We got 24 volts. Same thing over here, we get 24 volts. So we have a output issue, probably a shorted out or failed MOSFET or something. So we're getting 24 volts here. We're getting 2 point something volts here. We have a problem with the board. So let's pull it apart. Let's pull it off and look at it closely, right? So we have a actual probably a MOSFET fail or something on that SB2040 board. Check for bent pins on the face body connection. Yeah, we'll look at it. We'll just generally inspect it. So I'm shutting this down. Pull this off. So let's move this out of the way and pull the whole thing apart. The hot end works, so we are getting power to it. That's the thing. Hot end heats up just fine. It heated all the way up to 70C without a problem. So power is getting to the board. It's not getting to the fans. So that's what I'm saying. It makes sense that it's probably a MOSFET on there. Do you have anything using GPIO 2829 on the second toolhead? Apparently there's reports of issues with the boards plus tap and having failures. I'm not using tap on here. There shouldn't be a MOSFET in the circuit between 24 volts and that pin. Oh, that's true. Then why was it heating up just fine, I guess? You're right, the MOSFET would be controlling the GPIO pins, right? What do you mean, quickly recheck in case it was a boot condition? What are we talking about? Recheck what? Oh, bump. Okay. Let's pull the CAN wire and then the umbilical. Okay, so that separates that completely from the... Check the voltages to a known ground. See you, zombie. Let's just get a good look at this thing. I don't smell anything. Troubleshooting by committee doesn't seem to be that's fine. It's fine. Just don't get, as long as you don't get frustrated that I'm going through a process and I may miss things, and it's not, what I'm doing is definitely not necessarily the most efficient way to do this. I'm just doing what I would do. Oh, well, there we go. There we go. That's not good. That's not good. This is the little printed bracket that spaces off the... It's printed. This didn't cause it. But this is a clue as to what's going on. I didn't smell this as a thing. I don't know if my smeller isn't working. Tab just seemed to be the main driver for reports. Ah. That is not good. So let's pull this all the way out here. Ooh, yeah. Let's see what failed. What is that? Let's see if we get any focusing. Whatever that is what failed. Let's see if we can get any kind of focusing there. It's that component right there. I don't have a, let's see if we can do, this camera seems to do a little better with, aha, yeah. Could use a little more light, but that's the component right there. You got a lot of carbon scoring. It looks like you boys have seen a lot of action. That's funny. Here, let's see here. Get it down into an area with better light. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Come on, focus. Oh, it's trying. Yep, that's not gonna work. I can't really see well enough exactly what this is. So the question I have, is this just a failure, a bad part, or is something else causing this? If it was something else causing it, I would imagine the Toolhead 0 would have been at risk too. I don't know what part that is the problem. It's pretty smoked. Look at the board schematic, what it is. I can't really read what it is. There's a pic of that component under 1.7. Let's see. Oh, and that's a good point. I like to throw these. Let me throw the link in chat of where I am. Hey, B. McNichol. Oops. Here's where I am. There should be two caps. Here, let's go to 1.7. You said there was something under 1.7. Why isn't that coming up? 1.2, 1.3, 1.6, 1.7. That doesn't quite show what I'm seeing here. Oh yeah, that's two capacitors. You're right. It's these two that popped. It causes it to smoke if 24 volt fan connected to 5 volt pin. Shorted to ground by screw head. No, there's nothing there that would, there's nothing there for the screw head to short against. Let me look at the, where are there any jumpers or anything on here for setting fan voltage? It's all on the, is it on the front? Yeah, it's all on here. Oops, moving all the screws. Looking at the board here to see if there's anything that might have caused it to short something. Just 24 volts, everything's connected to 24 volts. What was that? They look like resistors, not caps. Those look like capacitors to me. The beige, those are usually caps, right? So I could do one thing. I could just grab the tool head off the other printer and plug it in. The screw head on the other side of the board. There's nowhere for it to short out on this side. It's way smaller than the pad there, if you see. There's nowhere for it to short out. Do you have a 2-pin fan? Is it using ground or A ground? It's using A ground. It's using A ground on both of them. So these are wired up the same. There we go. They're wired up the same. Yeah, just soldering the fans to the correct pins is how you choose voltage for them. Yeah, it is definitely. If anybody remembers, when we did this build, I had some confusion on whether I should be using A ground or ground, and we determined that A ground is the proper pin there. So now that, I mean, really, it comes down to, do I think this is just a failure of the part? Or is it something else that caused it? And it's definitely those two capacitors are both popped. So I can grab the SB2040 from the other printer, and we can just swap it in and move on and see how it lasts long term. I can order a couple more of these just to have as spares at this point. Schematic looks like there are no caps on the A ground, just 3 resistors, 2 1K and 1 20K. SB2040 off Trident, then another stream, BTT SB. That was the other question, is if it's worth trying to go through and wiring up the SB20 or the BTT toolhead board. I don't know 100% what is required for that. I know lots of crimping, which I'm wearing the wrong shirt for that. Fan circuit in his lower right corner looks like resistors, but I'm no electrical engineer. Time to break out the hot air station and channel Lewis Rossman. I have a hot air station, and I have a pretty decent microscope setup. There's a V2 incoming soon, apparently, that should fix some of these issues. I will probably reach out to Mello and ask them about this, what they think the likely cause is. I think you're probably right there, Jeff. That's probably a good thing. I need to do some content on that Big Tree Tech board, because because I haven't really evaluated it properly. So installing it is the best way. Let's swap the mellow board from my other Trident to here, get it working, and if everything's working fine, then let's do a hip sprint. And then there's a couple of things we could do next weekend, because I don't want to start the Mercury build. I want to wait an extra week to start the Mercury build. So I may do a couple of things on that weekend. Here, let's go here. We're back to the A ground and that question. So yeah, you know what? This is saying we should connect. What is this? Oh, this is, if we're using a PWM fan, it says ground PWM and 24 volts. If we're using a 2-wire fan, it says A ground and 24 volts, or 5 volt, depending on whatever voltage to match your thing. But according to the documentation here, I have it wired correctly. Okay, so here's the problem. I can't really, you're gonna just have to bear with me while I pull the board from this other printer. Let me shut it down. This won't take very long. I'm just gonna pull it real quick and then we'll replace it over here and go from there. Got Pop Blue ASA, it's nice looking if that's what you were waiting on for the Mercury one. Yeah, I was hoping to use Pop Blue for the Mercury one. I may shift gears and use a different color, but we'll see. Looks to me like C15 and C24. What circuit are those a part of, Thomas? that was definitely kind of a let's pull it apart and inspect. Oh yeah. Wow. Oh, oops, I forgot to actually hit the shutdown host button. Or touch spot. The VCC path of fan 01 and the schematics. Okay. Hey, Mr. V8 Rick. Yes, we found the problem. Or at least the evidence of the problem, and then the actual problem. Those two capacitors right there popped. Now there's your problem. Okay, let me pull this Toolhead apart really quick. Grab the screwdrivers. I gotta get this one back up and running quickly. I need the printers, but this will be worth it. I hope this is easy to pull apart. There's that, and then the fan, the wire cover, and there, and the two screws. There we go. Toolhead. Where are those wires? What do we got? In principle, you could remove the caps and test the voltage again and confirm as the board will work, just lose the current sensing. Okay. 5-volt output is burned as well if you have 5-volt fan laying somewhere. I don't have anything super handy. So the question, what would have caused those to fail? Is there a component further up that's actually caused those to pop? Am I going to plug everything in and have the next one pop? It might. In which case it might be a short stream or we're scrambling for something else to do. Pull this. 2 screws to pull the board. What do we have here? Oh, drop the screwdriver. This one had tap running on it, but 5-volt tap. Where is that screw? Right there, probably. Oops. There we go. Almost there. Get out of the way. Come on. Why are you not coming out? There we go. Oh, now I dropped it. Now it's failed. Five-volt output is burned as well. I didn't check the 5-volt. It's not uncommon to run them in parallel. Weak one fails and then the good one. Let's see here. So here is a good one, and those are the two capacitors that failed right there on the other board. So we could a little bit of a look there, right there and right there. Let's get it reinstalled. I only have one of these little printed spacers, so. It's either going to immediately pop when we do this, or hopefully it'll work long enough to play around some hips, and if it pops later, then I've got more things pointing to problem. The pads for those caps are right on the 24-volt trace. The trace may be damaged in that location. Okay. Okay, so board reinstalled. Stepper plugged in. I guess we can just go here. Here, X caps. That's true. There we go. That mounting hole is on the ground plane, so it's right next to the end of the cap that has 24 volts. Yeah, but there's nothing there that the screw can't short it out. Did it get plugged in when power was on? Not that I know of. I'm hoping Rebel Angel is correct. I'm hoping it's just a bad part. But we'll find out, I guess. We shall find out. Everything is off, right? Yeah, power is off. Check fan to verify it's working and not fried by putting 5 volts to it. Well, we swapped tool heads and the fans are fine. There we go, CAN wire. Main CAN cable is installed. That's there. Look, there's nowhere here for things to short. Yeah, nothing. So. Fan, end stop, and heater. There we go. UUID. Oh, we're gonna have to check all that, you're right. I can get it from the other, it's gonna be the same. I can get it from the other printer. I'll have to power it on. It's not gonna like it, but I can get it from the config. But you're right, this is gonna complain until I get the can set up. Yep, I'll pull it from the other printer. Yep. Okay. I believe the Clipper versions are going to be close enough on them. If not, then we'll go through the process for updating them. Is the other printer on the same Clipper version? I believe they're going to be close enough, but we shall find out. There we go. That can go there. And this one. Just making sure any little residue-y stuff isn't causing any problems on the fans. It's just like flux residue, but just in case. There are versions of Clipper you're supposed to update it. Occasionally. I was updating a printer the other day that I was pretty proud to figure out and get done. I was using CanBoot to update Clipper over UART. So it wasn't a CAN system, but it was really nice to be able to do that because CanBoot can be used for more than just CAN setups. Okay. It's handy, you can just change the board, update the UID and get going again. Let's find out. Let me turn on this other printer. It is going to complain like crazy, but I need to connect to it to get the UUID. Shorted caps is most likely an overvoltage situation. If caps are rated at 25 volts, they will die sooner or later. 35 or 50 volts must be used. I wonder what these are, what the package size is. Hi, Ella. Okay, that should be powering on, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, it's gonna be in an air state, but if we go over to 1.1. This is my original Trident. We got a machine and the Fly SB2040, and here is our UUID. Hi, Kyle. Let's copy that UUID. I had to use CanBoot to flash Creality 4.2.2 boards to Clipper because they do some weird crap with USB to serial conversions. Interesting. That's a cool use of it though. And now we can come back over here and we can power this up. So here, let's lift the lids on these. If there's any smoke, we might be able to see it. Let's find out. Can boot is just a bootloader that can update. Yeah. Okay, it's booting up. I got lights. I got all the lights. I'm not smelling anything, but apparently my smeller isn't reliable. If this works, I like the idea of putting the Big Tree Tech board in the other one, because it should be a fairly easy install, aside from crimping those tiny connections. It's age or COVID. I have been, knock on all the wood, I've been COVID free so far, so lots of knocking. Is the UUID the same as the last board, or did you search for it? It is not the same, and that's what we are going to. I grabbed it off the other one. There is a blue LED. You just can't see the angle isn't right, Linus. There is a blue LED on both. Let's try again. It is not as bright though, which is interesting. It's a lot brighter on Toolhead 1. That's an observation. Let's go to, is it just here in printer config? And Toolhead 1. So we are going to just get that down to the next line and comment it out and paste the other one. And save and restart. So this technically, theoretically, should, it's unable to connect. So head 1 is unable to connect. Why? The name is bad, but the A ground pins are the switch grounds going to the fan FETs. It's connected with the old UUID. Well, I just updated that and then redid it. Can speed should be the same. I've used the same on all of them. We can reflash things if we have to. Let me make sure I got the right one. So this is the SB2040 from the other printer. And that's the UUID, and it was working there. So it starts with 7 and ends in D. If we come back here, starts in 7 and ends in D. Let's do a full reboot, like Colin says. Reboot. This is probably going to error here. Oh, here we go. A second flash did it. So here we are. So we are live again. So let's throw some, let's see if this turns on. Yep, it turns on. We got fan working now. Okay. We're back in business. We are back in business. Awesome. Let's just use it. I mean, what else is there to do? So, I have never done a multi-material print, so let's figure it out. Let me cool this down. Simple swap, only an hour and a half. So let me close the things, and while I'm here, let me throw some screws on those. Actually screw the tool head, or the wire covers down. So does anybody have any experience with hips? Check to make sure the nozzle in T1 will extrude. Yeah, we should. We will be purging material anyway. Okay. I tried hips like 12 years ago. No, John, not replacement hips. Hips the material. Every day they make me walk. Dissolve with limonene. I'm not that old. So when I first decided to build the Tridex, I bought a roll of just eSun hips. So it's still sealed, and look at that vacuum seal. We're gonna try to pop it and see if it hisses. On the extruder one, was the LED on the original can board dim as well? Oh, I don't remember, Joker Nut. That's a good question. I have used it as support on maybe a dozen prints. It peels right off flat surfaces. And that's the hope, is for the most part getting a flat, getting it to pull off without actually dissolving it. Be curious if the new Prusa Slicer organic supports will, if there's a zero interface option for those, because that could work well. Print's kind of like PETG, sticky and stringy. What's a temperature we should go for? What's the temperature we should, well, I guess, does it say on here? 220 to 260. Okay, well, it says 220 to 260 here. Let's see. Where is my... Okay, I'm gonna put this next to my microphone. Let's see if we get a hiss. And it might get canceled out. Here, let's turn off the noise cancellation. Hold on. Filters. Okay. Is the filter off? Are you hearing all the stuff? Let's see if the filter's off. Same as ABS, but I print 5 to 10 degrees cooler than ABS, so the ABS is less likely to adhere. Okay. So you're hearing. Okay, let's find out. Let's pop this. That was great. I don't know if you heard that, but that was one of the best I've had. That lasted a long time. Awesome. Let me turn that filter back on. That was a good one. Holy moly. I think the trick was I used a X-Acto knife and just put a small hole. You're more satisfied than... That was awesome. Okay. Hips. Cool. I've never printed with hips. Let's move this so I can actually get to the spool holders back there. And we want to check a few things. I want to make sure the fan's working. Let me just pop that fan up. Yep, part cooling fan's running. Okay, that's off. Charlie is so interested. There, I can do that. See you in a bit, Connor. I still have some hips around here, but right now my IDEX is down. Sound evolved during the hiss. Yeah, it was great. Clean the bed and let's go for it. Built-in keyboard warmer. And I'm going to shut down this other printer since it doesn't need to sit there powered on without a tool head. Power this off. There we go. Found the printer filament vacuum bag systems to work pretty well. Not as good as manufacturer sealed, but workable. Yeah. Let's pull this off. I don't know if we just go for it. I think we just go for it and see what happens. Something, should we try? I wonder if I should try the organic supports. I'd have to download the beta Prusa slicer, but we can try that and see if there's a zero interface option. We're gonna find out here in a minute if the tool head will extrude as well. And let's get things warmed up. Keyboard. What keyboard is that you've got? This is a Keychron, I think the K1 SE. The jury's out on battery life, but feel and format, I really like it. What did he use for the CAN system on the controller side? I used Mello's U2C. So I think it's UTOC instead of U and then the number 2C. I'm waiting for gluten-free supports. Okay, let's go here and let's just warm this up. I'm gonna set this some load filament temperature. And if we go to Prusa Slicer GitHub, I think we go here, and where do they put the beta stuff? This is 2.5. Oh, here it is. 2.6 alpha 5. Let's go down here and where's the assets? So go down here to assets and Windows 64. Let's download this. Would you link to that keyboard, please? I'm looking for a good keyboard. Sure. Let's go keychron.com. And I have the K1 SE. K1 SE. And now there's a bunch of different variations on these as far as the key style. I have the brown mechanical, swappable mechanical one. Copy this. And here you go, Hybrid Robotics. Okay, is that done downloading? That's done downloading. So we have the beta version of it. Let's open this. Let's copy this just to here. Hey, Christian. I'm running an 80% blues, home built. I miss a few keys. I may have to build a new one. For my main computer, I like having a full 100% keyboard. I like the number pad. But for here at the streaming workstation, it's nice to have a smaller footprint. Okay, so I've got this downloaded. We can just go in here and run it. Oops. You're opening Prusa Slicer version 2.6 alpha. An existing configuration was found. Yes, let's import that configuration. Let's see if it gets all of my configurations. That would be good. This won't let me move this. Do not send anything. Okay, so here's the alpha version. It does have all my configurations. Awesome. Let's see. Do I have, is this the? Yeah, okay. Let's go expert. Things are warming up. Let's take a detour back to the, this can go away. And then here. So Toolhead is warmed up. So let's go ahead and extrude filament. This is probably, let's see if it extrudes. Let's go up here. Oh, no. There. We'll go right there. Actually, let's see if I can change the tool head. I want T1, but it's going to fail because it wants to home and axes first. So let's home everything and get things going. So let's home all. And then we can use the macros to swap tool heads. I think there's definitely some improvements that can be done in the, or refinement that can be done in the macros for this. And I'm not caught up to the latest. A lot of this, I bet you, has already been done. Okay, so now we can swap tool heads. And if I go T1, there we are. And I don't think I can get a great view of it extruding. Nope. Maybe if I set it on a box. What's in the box? Check here, I'm printing the ABS at 260 and hips at 235. Okay. So we're here, so now we should be able to extrude. Oops. I need to say T1, extrude. Why isn't it extruding? Is it trying to extrude the other? Oh, there it is. It wasn't, I didn't push the filament down enough. Hey, Sergey, Sergey, is that right? What is the most Voron red ABS? The reddest red. Well, Voron red is, there's KVP and 3D Print Life make a Voron red. Original red was Paramount Enzo red. There was some, actually, original was Hatchbox red. Then was Paramount Enzo red, and then KVP Voron red, and 3D Print Life makes a Voron red. Okay, let me extrude again. I don't have a macro set up for this yet, but we should get some filament coming out. There we go. Get that cooked ABS out of there from before. Oh, and that is weird. That is funky. You see that? The way that came out of there? I think the nozzle is probably clogged. Oh, that's better. Okay. It was having a weird little, oh, there it goes again. Look at that, oscillating. Wiggly. And you can see it in the filament coming out. That's weird. Is that like a partial clog? A cold pull should be as easy as any other setup. I wonder if that's a partial clog going on. I don't know if I want to worry about it yet. Let's just go. Hey, Stefan. Is a cooling fan going? Yeah. Well, no, the part cooling fan is not. Okay, let's get this back down to, where's my keyboard? I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna not worry about it right now. We're gonna just get a print going. Okay, that, and let's just go with a black, just a KVP black for the main color here. Let's switch tool heads. T0. Oh, knock that off. Looks like wet filament. Don't know. There we go. Let's heat up that tool head to there. Any tips to keep Rapido from clogging with PLA? Ugh. Good hot end fan. Good hot end cooling. Make sure you're not running it too hot. How many people do we have here today? Almost 100. That's awesome. That's pretty good for a member stream. Member stream, we're hovering in the 40 to 50. Oh, it's something I keep forgetting to mention. I finally hit, I've done like 105 live streams now on the channel. I keep forgetting to mention it in the main stream, on the Sunday stream. I meant to mention the 100th stream and I forgot. 100 and... We're at over 100 streams. T0, extrude, there we go. Okay, it's gonna extrude here in a second. Nearly at 8,000. I'm nearly at 1 million views. I'm at over 900,000 views now. Oh, there it goes. I suspect there's a partial clog on that second tool head. Co-watching another Trident. So that's the Poor Boy channel is doing a Trident build, right? Okay, so that is purged. Let's let this get back down to... Get this back down to normal, just idle temperature or preheat temperature. Let's see. We could do a cold pull and see what happens. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that. That means heating up toolhead 1. That's funny. So toolhead 0 left the little coil of filament there, and it moved away fast enough, it stayed, and the other toolhead went, and it's pointing right at the tip of the nozzle. Okay, so we're gonna do a cold pull on this other nozzle just because I think that is probably a good idea. Let's first just cold pull what's in there right now. So I'm gonna lower this temperature on extruder 1 down to about 115. Hey, David, welcome. Didn't cold pull half that. I have to create my under 5+ Marlin configurations from scratch now. Ooh. I just noticed the Sanjay print. Yeah, I printed that over a year ago. Any experience with PCB clicky? I don't. I don't have any experience. I've done plenty of the printed clickies, PCB Euclid, and then tap and inductive probes. So I'm letting the temperature go down. So I've just set the hot end temperature for extruder 1 to like 115. We'll see if we can pull with that. If I can't, then I'll raise it and with tension on it. And as soon as it gets to a temperature that it'll pull, then it'll come loose. We undo the latch and wait for that to get down. It's 123 right now. And we'll see if we can tell, because that was, let's see, I need to figure out what's going on with the focus on that camera, because this one, look at that. Look at a squiggly. Which Z probe do you like the best? I am really tap, honestly. We will be going over the aluminum tap from Chaotic Labs. One of those is on the way. So we will be installing that. That's a potential week after next. Do metal tap and maybe the big Tridex board on Trident. Okay, this is down to temperature, so let me just see if I can. Yep, that came loose. So, oops, wrong. So let's see if there's anything on that. Yeah, there's a little sparkly. It was a Sparta sparkle filament. There's some sparkly bits in there. I've never had the Sparta stuff cause a clog, but let's go through and see if it cleaned that up. Let's heat it back up. Heat it back up to the same temperature and extrude once it gets there. I just saw that new aluminum tab, not so sure about the sensor. I agree, Chris. That is a big question mark. You got to do double tap on the Tridex. One day I'll probably look at tap solutions for this, but we'll see. Okay, so it's up to temperature. Let's see if we can get another view here. Same view. Extrude. Nope, there's the wiggle. There's the wiggle. Okay, we'll try it again. We'll try it again. Hi, John. Yes. So we found out that we have a couple of burnt capacitors on the Mellow CAN board. Okay, let's bring this back down. Let's go. That was a little easy to pull, so we're gonna go 105 on this. That was at 220. That was extruding at 220 BA. Wiggle, wiggle. Let's let this cool down. But previous material temperature should be set right. Well, I'm just setting it manually in the in the slicer right now. I'm just setting it to... Usually I load filament and stuff at about 220. It seems to be effective at 5 millimeters per second feed, and it doesn't take that long to get there and cool down from there. I don't go to full filament temp when I'm loading and unloading filament. God, my son never got into the wiggles a little. Neither did mine. Okay, it's 150 C right now. We just gotta kind of wait. The bed's heated up and I'm wasting all this chamber temperature, but whatever. Whatever. So tomorrow we will be finishing the Micron. And Will planning on having a guest. So Heart K will be on. So that ought to be a good time. So be sure to tune in. It's 125 C right now. I guess I could turn the part cooling fan on and speed this up a bit. Let's turn that on. Yeah, I should have done that before. Much quicker. Okay, so down to 905. So let's see if I can, oh, there we go. Let's see if anything's in there. If this still wiggles, we're gonna just do the print. That was a good pull. There's a little brown speck in there. We could try, instead of going straight back for this stuff, I do have some cleaning filament. We can run some of that through it real quick. So let's go, let's heat this back up. And grab the cleaning filament. I don't know where I got this stuff. It's just a coil of cleaning filament I got from somewhere. I don't remember where I got it. There we go. That's heated up, so let's extrude it. Let's heat it up a little more. It's eSun. It is. I think it actually is, but I don't remember where I got it. What time I have another stream I need to be on from 11. Oh, what time am I finishing? We're going to be going maybe another hour at the most. And then that just fancy nylon. This is not nylon, isn't it? Polypropylene or something? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? I don't know what it is, to be honest. Okay, let me extrude one more time. It's not doing the wiggle thing. There is the fan going now, though, too, so. HDPE. Let's do a cold pull with it. So often I'll hit this stuff first, and if it's really bad, then I have a spool of the oldest, most probably the most moist nylon from Gizmo Dorks that I use for cold pulls. If I really have trouble, then this is what I'll use. It comes out spattering and steaming, but when I pull, it usually grabs everything that is in there. That's what I hit when this doesn't do the trick. I bought that Gizmo Dorks probably over 5 years ago. Just to try nylon. I was trying it on my CR10. Oh, what time is my stream tomorrow? 10 a.m. Same start time. I try to keep a consistent start time of 10 a.m. Pacific. So same time I started today, but it'll be tomorrow. I use nylon trimmer line from the hardware store for cold pulls. I just saw a video, someone talking about nylon, printing with nylon from, was it Zach Freeman? And something in those can be not great for you. You got to be careful what stuff you get. Some additive they put in there isn't good for you, so be careful. Yeah, Charlie really curls up. Skip your stream at 1 a.m. You can watch it after. You're good. Okay, this is back down to temperature. So, oh, then that came right out. So, okay. Let's go ahead and see if this worked. But I won't. There we go. And heat this back up. Let's see if that was effective. Here was the, let's see if we can get a good view here. That's a pretty good cold pull. That was off from the cleaning filament. Got the shape of the tip of the nozzle in there. Sven, check out Prusament Sapphire Blue. It's a great dark blue. Prusament Sapphire Blue. That's it right there. And it's darker. It comes out a little darker than this is showing on camera. Okay, so let's go back here and see if this does it again. It's an ASA. So Prusament is an ASA. So if you really need ABS versus ASA, then I don't have a great suggestion for you. Let's extrude. Now, oh, nope, it's still doing it. It's still doing it. I don't know, maybe it's a hips thing. I'm not gonna go further on that. Not on stream. If it becomes a problem, then we'll deal with it. But I'm gonna move on and turn this fan off and go back to hips don't lie. Prusament does not make an ABS, no. Okay, let's close this up so we can get some chamber heat going. And Try extruding. It could be a temperature thing. You're right, Jokernut. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna let it cool down, let the chamber heat up, and we're gonna prep the we're gonna prep the print. I have no idea what I'm doing, so let's learn together. That was a pretty well sealed spool of hips, Phil. So it very well could be sealed and still come moist from the factory, but it doesn't really exhibit like moisture boiling out of filament. It's that weird just spiral. Usually you'd get like just rough and steam. Let me switch over to the slicer, and also let's see here. See where I put the files. So the dragster, I don't know, should we go straight to the dragster, or should we do a quick test print? If I do you have no, never mind. YOLO. Send it. But the problem is if I do the dragster, it may, I'll bring spare parts. It may take too long to actually show off or on camera. So I'd rather do something that I can print and test to see if it separates on camera, and then set up to print the dragster part. Let's go here. This file here is what yeah. I think I want to try. Is that what I want to try? That one could maybe use some supports. Did you design this to need supports, Scott? I was gonna say, I'm not thrilled with fillets against build surfaces. Those should be like a cham fillet or something. But which one is it? The rear wing that needs supports, or is all of it designed to be printed without supports? I thought these were going to need supports, and it might be better with supports. Rear wing needs supports. Okay, that's what I'll end up printing with then. But can we? Let's bring up Fusion. Let's bring up Fusion and model something real quick. You didn't get any notifications. Darn it! Welcome. Let me bring up Fusion 360. We'll just model a quick little thing. That shouldn't take long to print. I'm waiting for it to start up. I need to make sure it's not starting up in a folder that I can show. Me. Okay, just about there. Okay. Fusion. Was there any stuttering? Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick model here. We're in Fusion. I'm going to create a circle. Let's just do this. Let's go, how big do we want this to be? Let's go at 12 millimeter inside diameter. Let's say 20. Nah, that's too small. Let's go 30 millimeter outside diameter. No stutter, awesome. Let's do an offset here of, let's say let's go 0.8, 2 perimeters. And that's all we're gonna do. Let's finish that. And we're gonna extrude this 5 millimeters. Let's go 6 millimeters. Then we're gonna show the sketch. We're gonna extrude that, and that from an object, the top of this, another 5 millimeters, sure. So we're making a shape here that's gonna normally need supports, right? And then I'm gonna extrude this up to there and a new body. Okay, so that's what we're gonna print. We're gonna print this body with the hips. Let's see. This body with the hips and this body with the ABS. And we'll see how they separate. And I think I can oops. Didn't want that. I can export this and hips test and save it to downloads. Oops, that was a Fusion 360 file. I want to actually save this as a step file. Are we fixed? We are. We are. And then export that. So now we can go back to here and add from downloads our hips test file. And we've got this file here that looks like one piece. It should have come in as 2 different pieces. Why didn't it come in as 2? Do I need to separate those components? Here. In here, I can right click and I should be able to create a component from body. And that is, we're gonna rename this hips. And let's just create a component from body and name this main. I could split it to objects. Let's export this to hips test, yes, and then back in here and reload from disk. Nope. So let's reload it. There we go. Now we have 2 different parts. We could have, like Scott was saying, go in and split to objects, but this gives me 2 different things here as well in the slicer. So let me change this to Tridex PLA. It says Tridex PLA, but it's actually just a generic Tridex profile I've been using. And then we're gonna say KVP black, and we're gonna look at our we need a hips. Oh, chat's blocking the objects. Sorry. I'll make that stuff disappear. Okay, so we have let's get rid of chat for a second. We have an object, a model in here. I imported it as a step. I could have imported it as a 2-body STL and split to objects. I've selected my Trident printer, which is the 2 extruders. I am going to say that the main color is extruder 1 and the hips part is extruder 2. Now I need to set my filament profile, and we should be able to go to, so this is one way to do this. I modeled in supports. We should also be able to do print supports with the second toolhead as well in here, right? I'm going to edit this profile, and what do we say? Do you folks say you usually print a little cooler than the main color? So let's just go with something. And we're we're gonna leave the rest of it. We're gonna save this as, let's just call this hips eSun. So now we can choose the hips as the second color. Toolhead 2. And I guess that's it. If we slice this, we should get a zero interface. Oh, that's interesting. You notice there's no top and bottom infill there. Why not? That's weird. Why is that doing that? Is that a weird slicer issue? I have no top and bottom infill on that interface. That's not normal. Top and bottom solid layers. Here, can we split this? Split to objects. Let's try that. Let's slice it now. So what Scott was saying, it looks like we had to do anyway. Split to objects, and that gives us the behavior we're looking for. Okay. Make sure this is set up. Yep, Tridex local. And we should be able to send this. Let's upload it. There we go. Allow, and then turn chat back on. Can I get this angled a little better? I always have to split to objects to get solid infills on it. I've done this so little, I didn't know that. So that's a good lesson for me, Scott. Thank you. You need an air gap of greater than 0. Why? Oh, if it, to do that, I see, Phil. In order for it to calculate that, unless, like Scott said, unless you split to objects and they're separate objects. Now, I believe we should also be able to go to print settings and support material and generate support. And isn't there a spot in here where we say, where do you say, maybe it's multiple extruders and support material raft kit extruder right here. You can't see that because Charlie's in the way. It looks like we could say support material extruder is extruder 2. And then set up all the other settings in the support material thing here. So let's go back here and let's just print this thing. So I think we should be able to go over, oops, not that there. And this should be all ready. So I'm just gonna go through my process here. So we're homed. Let's switch back to tool 0 and do a Z-tilt. Grab the Euclid. This one is using a Euclid probe. The fan's still working. So I have never, this will be my very first remove like soluble 0 interface support print on any printer. I've never done it. So this is exciting. That was 0.05, so it should have one more round. Oh, we can get Charlie back. It is Charlie's stream after all, right? What? Okay. It's got another round. That was 0.01. I don't know what's going on. That's not normal. There we go. 0.0006. Okay, now I'm going to do a mesh. After it finishes its next home. Okay, now we're going to do a mesh. Anybody still around? Never seen a dual extruder printer print anything. I can probably, hopefully, maybe shift this even more and get a little. Let's see if I can arrange this a little better. There we are. Maybe that's a little better. You just get the reflection of me. Does adaptive mesh work with the Tridex setup? I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question. I haven't tried adaptive mesh on anything though. Getting 480p for big chunks of time. Ew. Wish LDO still did the orange. Yeah, I like the orange. I do. Oh, I understand, everybody. I mean, you see me pop into... I often watch entire streams that I pop in and say hi to. I just don't chat unless something really jumps out and I want to respond to. So I'm very much a lurker as well. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go and choose this print to start. For the most part, if I'm printing something small, it's going to a V0. So that's why it hasn't really been a big thing for me. Okay, I'm just starting the print, so this'll heat up the tool heads. The sequence and workflow here, I need to improve it because it sits here and heats up both tool heads, and I need to figure out how to make sure that the idle tool head cools down a little bit. The nozzle wipes keep the nozzle pretty clean. They do actually. Since I raised the silicone in those to where it touches the nozzle when it's resting there, it's pretty much solved any oozing issues. Camp is awesome. So you can use Moonraker. What is camp? I don't know what camp is. Okay, so it's gonna do a purge line for the first tool head, and it's got some crap on there. Is it gonna lose it? Am I gonna try to get in there and yeah. Maybe it'll lose it over here. Oh, it didn't actually print. What's going on? Not actually extruding. It's not actually extruding on either of them. What the hell? It's not actually extruding. What is going on? It's not pushing plastic. That's weird. It's not pushing plastic on either one. Why isn't it? Oh, camp is the adapted bed mesh. Okay. The Bartos, the wipers are just in the Tridex GitHub. This isn't pushing plastic at all. I'm not sure why. It activated extruders. We go in here to the... It activated extruders. Activated extruder 1. I'm gonna pause. Extrude. Well, that's weird. It's not actually, what is going on here? Oh, it's moving. That's really weird. It's moving like a millimeter when I'm telling it to move 50. It's actually moving filament, but when I tell it to move 50 here, it's moving like a millimeter of filament. That's what is going on. That is a weird problem. Try starting a previous dual print that was successful. It might be a slicer issue. It might be. I think folks are right. Let me try just starting a previous G code. I mean, I imported my profile from the slicer. Well, yeah, extruding from the interface would work properly if it was a slicer issue. I agree. What is going on? Let's stop this. Let's cancel the print. And let's... Flow percentage in the interface might be off. It just worked. Yeah, and that, I'm just doing this, and now I'm gonna extrude Toolhead 1. I want to see if it'll extrude just as it is right now. Let me heat it up. The other thing we could, I mean, if this, I think starting a previous G code, if this extrudes fine, starting a previous G code is a good idea. And then we could always reslice with the 2.5 Prusa slicer in case we're running into some weird running into some weird slicer bug. Okay, I am going to extrude. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. I call 50, it extrudes like a millimeter. So let me reboot. I'm gonna reboot. Reboot. Give it a second. Reboot. Prusa Slicer defaults to MMU type settings, which have big retractions. This is a pre-existing profile though. This is the same profile I've used for doing MMU prints before. It's taking a little bit to boot back up. It's taking a good while to boot back up. Yep, I'm turning it on, off and back on again. Get it booted up. Smell for burning. Well, smells like ABS. It's booting up now. Should get the lights turning on here in a second. There we are. Lights on, booted in. Let's heat it up. Very odd. I think we'll reslice this. If this extrudes fine, we'll reslice this with the other, with the release Prusa slicer. This is heated up. Let's extrude. Yep, it's extruding just fine. So I don't know what's causing the issue. But we're going to, oops, we don't want that. We want this. We're going to close this, discard this. And I think I want to just try this because I have a feeling that's what's going on. So let's open up Prusa Slicer. This is 2.5. Let's open downloads. Let's grab this. We're going to split this, split to objects, and we're going to choose the Trident, and we're going to go KVP, and then we need to change this. I had this at like 235, just guessing. And save this. Save that. And choose hips. And this is going to be Toolhead 2. And this is going to be Toolhead 1. Hips doesn't stick to PEI, I recall. We'll find out. I thought that was the HDPE and polypropylene and that kind of stuff. Oh, and we have to choose that. And slice. Yep, that's correct. And let's send it. Upload. Okay, let's try again. So here, and heat that. This guy, down. If you not watched the IT crowd, first episode is kind of a requirement for anyone in it. I know the pre-slice file would be fine, but I suspect, considering I've not had problems like that before on this machine, I suspect a weird slicer issue, and it might be a default that gets set or something that I need to go in and change. We'll find out. Your extrusion flow rate in the dashboard was set to 1%. I just went back in the video. What? It was set to 1%? Why would it be there? Let me look at this one. Extrusion flow rate. Where was that? Where is that? You're not talking about extrusion multiplier here, right? Fusion lit. Where was that? In the dashboard. What? Oh, and it's not now because I reset? Did I fat finger something? Where does that get set in here? I've never messed with that setting. Speed factor, extrusion factor, this guy? Did I fat finger that? Okay. Well, we'll get it going now anyway. Let's home it. If it was 1%, that would explain what it was doing. But I didn't notice. Or it could be coming from the slicer. Done with that. Done with that. Oh. Okay, if we're successful with this, and we'll probably call it. Okay, now Z-tilt. Charlie's got his paw over his nose. That's one of his favorite sleeping positions. Oh. Steve, did you cover the setup of can gear in the Tridex videos? I did. The canned stuff? Maybe he farted. Okay, now bed mesh. Oh, a second. I may need those side mount wipers on my Trident. Found that the tap 3mm shift makes it nearly impossible to get to the rear mounted nozzle brush. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. And how many people will we have here? Oh, it's still about 100. That's good. Only 78 of you like it, though. Only 78. Does that mean we have 98 people here or 78? There we go. The number's going up. Isn't a like redundant? We're already paying for this. But not redundant to YouTube. There we go. Now we're at 97 and 97. We're good. I was going to say, it's back up to 98, but I was going to say I drove someone off mentioning likes. Got an even number, 9898. On my interface anyway. Almost done. Now we're going to pay attention. This is going to go through here, but I'm going to pay attention to that extrusion factor number when we start this print. This is the one that I just uploaded at 12:30 and print. Now let's go back here. It's still 100%. So, oh, we got I see a 1 there now. We're over 100. Okay, it's preheating. Oh, Charlie's stirring. He's got a look. Are you gonna get up or are you gonna settle back down? An old man waking up. 99 red baboons. I'm gonna sneak in here and grab the use. A sudden rush of likes has woken Charlie. There we go, it's extruding. Has to have been a weird slicer thing. And probably a setting I need to look for. But that purge line did, so let's see. Yep, that one's going. Things look okay as far as height on first layer. So we got a hips purge line. Oh, and it did curl up, so I wonder if that's a weird spot for the print. Oh well. Gonna do a skirt. Oh no, I don't have a skirt. Oh, and it's doing a Hilbert curve. Hilbert curve first layer. Whatever. Okay, is this gonna stick is the question. It does kind of, it's not perfect. Maybe you need a little bit of glue stick or something. We'll see. I left it on Hilbert curve. It's okay so far. We'll see. Oh, no, I don't think it is sticking. It just shifted the perimeter. Yeah, I feel like I should cancel it early so we can actually get a, yeah, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna cancel the print and then we're going to pop this off. There's that. I'm gonna get my fingers on it. I think height was okay. I might have been able to go a little lower, but let's grab some, let's just grab some quick glue stick in the area. And then maybe across the front here just to see if it has any impact. Keep it, get it preset. Okay, let that warm right back up to temperature and we'll just start the print. Let's switch back to Toolhead 0. Whew. Let's go. Home at all. Okay, I'm not gonna re-Z-tilt or mesh. I'm just gonna send it. So we're gonna say just reprint job. And it's gonna go through its thing. And it looks like Charlie's done there, so he wants out. You want out, Charlie? Yep. I might squish this a little bit too. Bring it down, baby step it down just a little bit. Would it be possible to build a Trident as an IDEX without having to build the Trident and upgrade it later? It's just frame size is your biggest consideration there, Hybrid Robotics. Maybe go a bit hotter on the hips if squishing doesn't work. Yeah, maybe, Dan. Just grab the ooze real quick. Your Z offset might be a little out from dismantling the tool heads. Yep, you're right. It seemed, I mean, the squish was reasonable. It could squish a little more though, that Hilbert curve there. Should be starting here. You done? Yep, there it goes. Let's just baby step it down a little bit. Maybe one more. It's looking good for the black. Yeah, and the Hilbert curve is just a little more together. Yeah, that's touching each other now. Okay, we'll see what happens. It's, well, part of the skirt there is it's trying to print on the, or real close to the ABS. So, hey, Squirrel Brain. Hybrid Robotics. The build size on this, the frame is a 350. It's the frame pieces from a 350 Trident wide and a 250 deep. The build area ends up being about 250 in Y and about 220 in X. Charlie was let in. I am going to let it go because the perimeter, the skirt, didn't stick all that great, but the actual print is looking pretty good. It's squished a bit more, but not too much than last time. And none of the little Hilbert curve pieces are lifting up. They're all staying there. Now we'll get a second layer on the skirt, which is going to likely not stick just because it's trying to print on top of ABS. There we go. We're on the second layer of the hips. Too much squish. Yes, too much squish does spoil the effect on Hilbert curve. So that is probably gonna have a problem because that's the second. I like to do 2 layers on my skirts because if I accidentally squish too much, it's a lot easier to take off. If I accidentally squish too much on a skirt, have you ever had that where you end up basically a skirt that stays there until it eventually finally wears out? Can't resist pausing and pulling those skirts if they aren't flat. You gotta resist it sometimes. Or it goes up your nail, yeah. That too. Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I guess the question will be is if it starts warping up. How long is this print supposed to be? What did it say? 20 minutes. It's only supposed to be a 20-minute print. So we might be on track for about a 30 or 3-hour stream today. Tomorrow, I have no idea how long it's going to be. It could be a long one because it's going to be finished tomorrow. The chat goes quiet as we stare at the print. Can I get in there any closer? Nope, that's the closest. I could bring the camera in. Oh, sorry for the shaky cam. Probably reasonable. Yes, you print something else over it to remove the embedded stuff. Yep, I've done that. Yeah, the hips is looking good. It's not curling up at all yet. What do we got? How is the hips printing now? Yep. Oh, well, you can't really tell when it's doing this if it's wiggling. Can't really tell. But it's laying down. It looks like a good print. Hi, Jamie G. Organize some midstream back massage. Oh yeah, that sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Busy dropping in 2x4 black screws on an epoxy floor with black spots. That sounds awesome. The other garage has an epoxy floor, and it's similar. It's black spots. For a 250 by 250 build volume, would the frame need to be for a 350? Well, a 250 will give you 250 in Y. So a 250 frame will give you 250 in Y. It's the X. You would need like the equivalent of a 380 in X in width in order to get a full 250 width on the build area. Cable that comes with the SB2040 failed at about 800 hours today. Interesting. How does the twin head work? It's working good. We're doing a hips and ABS print right now. And it's just a model that I did up in Fusion 360 just to see how a zero clearance interface works with this. Oh, hi, Charlie. Charlie's coming to inspect. Oh, you missed that. Sorry. Yeah. I've been using a draft shield as a prime tower for IDEX prints. Since I adjusted the silicone wipers on this, I haven't needed a draft shield. We're close to done with the, let's see, we are at 4.6. So I think I did 6 millimeters is the height of the, so we're at 4.6 right now, or 4.8, or 4.8. So we got another millimeter of hips printing to go. I wanted to make it large enough so I could get a purchase on it, hopefully, to break it apart. We're at 5 millimeters right now, 5 more layers. 2.5 mil self-tappers are unlikely to stand upright. Unless you have carpet. Then carpet, they're a problem. .4. It's still sticking to the bed, not curling up at all. Doing good. Where are we at? 5.8. Oh, is this going to be the last one? Yeah, this will be the last one. This is the last tips layer. What's my bed temp? 110. 110 is what indicated. Oh, okay. I guess this is the last. This should be the last tips layer. Yep, there it is. Oh, that is not. It just grabbed a bit of ooze that was sitting there is all. It didn't lift off of there. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's the hole. Now we just gotta wait for it to finish. Making an assembly manual for T2. Any suggestions towards what makes a good manual? Whew. I mean, I'm not the manual guy, but I'd want to see good fastener callouts and clear indication of where they go, probably. See ya, Ella. Have a good night. So, yeah, this is Charlie's happy spot. He will gladly just sit here for as long as I'll let him. We're at 7.2. We're 11 millimeter print total. I know for me, the biggest thing I look for is what size fastener goes where. But what folks are saying as far as exploded views and kind of indications of where things go are good. Three more millimeters. I'm giving Charlie until this print is done of shoulder time. I could have gone a little lighter on the infill, but whatever. It's probably set to my default 40%. What do you think about the Fetus Apus extruder? I'm very vaguely familiar with that. It's not generally, a lot of what I do, I mean really a lot of what I do is in the Voron ecosystem.
If I was building something that was more catered to that extruder, it'd be more interesting to me. And I'm branching out to other things, like Mercury 1's coming up and that type of thing. But I don't have a real opinion on it. Hey, Jay Cannon. It's a 10.2. It's almost done. It's at 95%. It's doing just the top layers now. It is set to 5 top layers though. VZBot when? I would very much like to build a VZBot. I think I saw Nero do an explanation on like the when printers, and he has a very good point. It's difficult when I have 16 printers to justify going out and buying another printer. And at some point, I may end up deciding to do that. But the likelihood of me doing a VZBot would depend on if someone wanted to see me build one. Is the idea. If someone wanted to see me build one enough that company or whatever was interested in sponsoring that video. It's not a matter of whether, I mean, I don't have room for them, that kind of thing. I'm trying to be pretty picky on the types of projects that I do though. I like the community focused. I think Simon has a great attitude on 3D printing and a good community, it sounds like. So that would be one that does definitely pique my interest. It's just the logistics and actually going forward with it type thing. So, okay, Charlie, you have got an extended period of shoulder time. So you get to go back there and we get to check out this print. Ugga specs are important. Yep. Okay, let's see if this just, oh, yep, just popped off. Okay, this other camera has been nicer for, the XY alignment is off. Yep. I need to check that. So I've got that cool little camera from Ember Prototypes. I need to check that out. Anyway, here's our print. The XY alignment is absolutely off. I don't know why. Maybe me messing with the tool heads. So let's see something. Let's see how hard this is. I'm gonna try to just push this to the side. Nope, not that easy. Here, let's see. Do I have, how large will these go? Let's see if I can just kind of push this. Just kind of do a, nope, that's not coming apart. Interesting. Okay. Now let's go back here. Let's see here. End up with the tool swap from when you calibrated? No, I didn't swap the tools. Toolheads isn't. This is not water soluble. This is limonene soluble. Let's see if we can just squeeze the hips part of it. There we go. I do have a big area of this. Oh, that wanted to stick. That definitely wanted to stick to the ABS. It broke itself before it came off.
Hi, Jose. Yeah. There's probably something here. This is not sharp. This is a little spatula thing I got from in a Sparta order. Let's see if I can get that in there. No, it has basically bonded. It seems to have basically bonded to there. Huh. Oh, there it goes. I got in there. It did not bond. It was just part of this. There's a few things that might be going on. My extrusion multiplier was not calibrated for this. I may have had a very rough surface here that had a more of a mechanical bond than a material bond. If you want easy to remove supports, I have some very good settings I put in a lot of time into. Well, removable supports on the same material or for a zero interface stuff. So it didn't bond. So I think there was a mechanical bond going on, and that probably has a lot to do. I did not calibrate this hips at all. I didn't check to see if I'm over extruding, under extruding, anything. So I think the bigger issue here was like I said, a rough surface that the ABS was grabbing onto. Because that did come off, and it did not. That's a pretty cool, here, since this one works better. That is a pretty cool support surface. Interesting. First experience, like I said, very first hips print I've done. Hips and ABS print. Let's see, did I miss anything? That's cool. I like it. I mean, it needs some work. I need to figure things out. And you can see some areas of the ABS in here. Neat. I have to see if I can get some limiting locally too, see for more difficult prints. The other thing I want to do is if we go into here, let's if we go into the slicer and let's do something like here, let's just delete that model, right? So now we're just left with this. Same material, but work the same for multi-material. Someone wants to sponsor the printer. I'll work on multi-material. There you go. So we have this. If we went into the print settings and go to support material, we should be able to generate support material. And we want, for this kind of thing, we would say top contact Z distance. We could say 0 for soluble, see? And then under multiple extruders, we can go in here and say support material extruder is extruder 2. And if we go here and slice it, we'll end up with, oh, and I've got interface layers here. So I want to make sure that those interface layers are the support material also. So let's go back to the print settings, and we want the support material raft interface. Let's see if that does it. Yep, there we go. So now we have all hips in 0 clearance. This would be an interesting print as well, to print that. And also give me a lip to grab onto to pop it off. And interface layer is 100%. That's a good point, Danny. If we go to support material, where top interface level layers are heavy, is there a, interface pattern spacing is 0. Is that what you're looking for, Dan? Yeah. So that's the other way that we could have done this. Now, can we, if we close this and just go through the exercise here, I'm going to discard all of those changes and bring up, let me bring up the beta version or the alpha version, and let's add that same file, split to objects, and delete the hip support. And if we go in here, and now if we go to print settings, and we're gonna set support material, we're gonna turn it on, but we should be able to, where's the support type? Style, organic. So let's see what organic supports looks like for this. And we want 0 contact distance. And let's just see what happens. So we go multiple extruders, and we're gonna say these are tool 2 and slice it. That's cool. Let's see what that looks like on the top of the, yeah. That's kind of neat. And it should be hollow. Those should be pretty hollow, right? Yep. Oh, look at that. You see that there? That's not good. That's a problem in here. That's organic supports printed in over nothing. Look at that. Those 2 layers, at least 2 layers of things mid-air printing. It's cool looking, but this would not print well. This is not the application for this. So I'm curious if that's a reportable, if that's a bug, or is it a limitation of the type of supports that you have to watch out for? Is anybody familiar with Prusa Slicer and its stuff? Need supports for the supports, yeah. The user shouldn't have to check for that. I agree. I agree. It's interesting looking, though. Does anyone know any ABS that looks like stone marble available in Europe? I don't know. Does anybody? Oh, no. Oh, I just dropped the camera. There we go. There is a reason why it's an alpha release, but what I'm not complaining about it is as a thing. Is it a reportable bug? Is it something that has been reported, and if it hasn't, it's probably something that should be. So, yeah, I think that was successful. I'm pleased. So we troubleshot a problem on Tridex today. I didn't have any idea what the problem was going into this. It didn't work. I turned it off and I waited for this. So that was a cool process to go through. It ended up being, for anybody that wasn't here, it ended up being the CAN Toolhead board. So this is the Mellow SB2040, and there were 2 capacitors right there, and where that black sooty spot is, and they are no more. So this is a 2040 V1, and here there's a sightings of a V2. So I'm gonna reach out to Mellow and see what they have to say about that. So we have it working. The plan tomorrow, we are going to come back and we're going to finish up Micron. And I will have a guest. So if all continues to go well, then Heart K will be on, and we will be, it could be just one of the caps. I didn't try cleaning it yet. I'm going to try cleaning it with some rubbing alcohol and see if the other one is just soot. But if all goes well, we'll have Heart K on tomorrow, and finish up Micron. The following week will be probably the Chaotic Labs tap setup, along with maybe the Big Tree Tech Stealth Burner Toolhead board in that same printer, because I need to get that one back up and running. It's not running right now. So, and then after that next week we'll start the Mercury 1 build. So with that, thank you everybody. Thank you for being a member. I really appreciated it. The community has been awesome. The support that you've shown me is great. So I appreciate it. So hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow. If not, next stream you show up, and have a good rest of your day and take care. Bye. Oh, I got everything zoomed in, so there we are. See ya.